I wasn't expecting
Plot
that.
twist.
I was expecting like, oh, cool, I like an older woman. No, he's just like, perfect. This is what I wanted. Let's start.
Hi.
I am so glad to introduce Valeria.
Hi, everybody.
So, Valeria, as you can see, I'm just a sucker for getting my friends in here. And right now, where are we at?
We are at my apartment in New York City, Wall Street, Financial District, to be specific.
If that doesn't do it to you and you still till the end, I don't know what will.
I don't know.
But yes, I love bringing my friends, and I thought it was only fitting since I am this weekend in New York visiting Valeria for a Jonas Brother concert.
Yay!
Yes, we're so excited. It's literally tonight. By the time you hear this, it's probably been like months, but it's fine because it was amazing. So I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm so excited. I think like this is my first time actually talking in a podcast or doing anything like in this matter, because I do TikTok sometimes, but I never talk. Like this is like,
Right.
even though I'm a really extrovert person and I talk a lot. When I say a lot,
Yes.
it's like a family thing. But this is my first time like actually talking about myself, or I don't know, it's just like silly things with one of my best friends. So
I've always felt, I don't know if you remember this, but remember when we were in Dallas, in Plano, and we were getting in the car singing Disney songs, and we were
yes.
like, we should do a carpool karaoke.
I remember because you were
Mhm.
trying to do your YouTube video and stuff, and we say that, but then like COVID happened, I think it was,
Yeah.
and a lot of things.
Yeah, but I always thought, I already have like podcasts with Valeria all the time. We just don't record them.
That's totally true.
Because you can already see, like with my friend group, we talk about a lot of stuff, like a lot. And sometimes I'm like, someone should just record us.
Yes, and
We should have someone following us around.
totally. And sometimes like we talk about like silly things, and but sometimes we're like super like deep into these like
Like,
these
why did
deep
you feel like
conversations,
that?
and you have to go back and circle that, and I don't know, like it's so funny.
I actually really love that about us, though.
Yeah.
But let's talk about why you're here, because there's a reason why you're here. It's not just because you're my friend, but also because, you have had some changing years, let's say that. And
Crazy.
Valeria and I, we met in college, like my other friends. She was going to college. I was going to UNT, and then we met through my ex-boyfriend. But then we broke up, but then we stayed together.
Yeah.
So it was a successful relationship after all.
It was a great relationship.
Yes. So we met in college, and since then we've been besties with our other two friends that you've already seen, the twins. And after graduation, you were in Dallas for a little bit, but then you moved to New York. So I want to just get in the whole story of how you moved to your dream city.
Okay, let's talk about that. I've been living here in New York for a year now. When you see this, it was going to be a year and some month. But yeah, I moved here in July of 2022. In July 2022, I graduated college in December 2021. I was living in Dallas. I was so like actually really happy in Dallas. I think that you get to, you're in the comfort zone. I have my family, I have you guys, my friends. And when I started like to look for jobs, I started applying everywhere. And I got this job in New York, and I was really excited, but I was not as excited as I thought I would be. But I remember when I graduated from high school, I came to New York for 3 months to study English with one of my best friends from childhood. And I remember when I came back, I was like, New York is my dream city. I'm gonna live there someday. That's the best city in the world. So when I came back to the US, that was my dream. But I went to Dallas because I got a scholarship. It was easier to live there or whatever. So when I got the job, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared because it was like, yeah, I always wanted to go to New York, but it was going to be like go to New York by myself. Like I didn't have my childhood friend this time. I didn't have my friends because they have their life in Dallas. But someone, I called my uncle. I lived with my uncle for a while, like when I was in Texas. So when I got the job, I called him. And he was like, you have been manifesting this since you were 18. And that's when it hit me. It's like, yes, like sometimes you forget like the dreams you have. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
manifesting that for so long. I remember that I will try to come to New York to visit like once every now and then. And every time that I came here, I was like so happy. I always say like I could be I couldn't be feeling bad or whatever, but I always like see like in my pictures in New York, I look great because I was always glowing. I was really happy. I think
Mm-hmm.
like that was my place. So when he told me that, I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, not because right
Mm.
now I don't feel like, oh, I want to go to New York tomorrow by myself.
Yeah.
But just like, yeah, this is something that my heart has been manifesting for so long and it's actually happening. So I'm just going to say this like, things, they don't happen when you want to, they happen when they had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think like when things are meant to be, like, that's how it works.
And I think you are the one friend that I think that has the same love of New York than me.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see you get that job because it's like I got the job. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like, when your friends succeed, you're like, oh, I succeed with them, right? So when you got the job, I was like, oh, we're going to New York, even though I'm not going to New York.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I, but
You're
but
coming.
but now I visit a lot, right?
Yes.
But like, it's almost like, wow, we're getting that job in New York, and we're accomplishing our dream. But I think that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of people would think, oh my God, Valeria, you're going to New York. This means X, Y, and Z, not really knowing what that really meant, right? Like having the expectations of you having the perfect New York life. So, how was your transition? Like when you got to New York, what was something like, or how was the experience like,
Well,
having those people's expectations and
well,
your own expectations?
actually, I think like I was gonna say this like when I moved to New York, I was not in my best mental health
Mm,
self. I had a little bit of like an issue during college, like with drinking too much and stuff. So just before, like, I already knew that I was gonna move, but I had like a incident in Dallas that I didn't love. So I think that I was escaping. Like I was like, okay, you know what? Like this is a
mm,
sign. Dallas did it for me. I need to do more stuff and change a little
mm.
bit more. So I was a little like out of my head, and then you see like everyone is like, you're gonna be Carrie Bradshaw. You are gonna be having the you are gonna be dating the most beautiful man in the world, or you are gonna be because everyone loves to say this. Like if I were you, I will be walking every day at Central Park. Then I will ride a bike for an hour,
They're
and
very
then
active people.
I will grab coffee, and then I will do this and that and that.
Oh my God.
So I remember that I have so many expectations by myself because I think that when people say a lot of things to you, you believe it. You're like, yes, I have to go to New York
Yeah, yeah,
and have to have like this dream apartment with the view
yeah,
to
yeah.
Central Park, and that's not true. Like if you're going to move into New York for the first time, it's a kind of event. You're going to live in a
Mhm.
walk up with no elevator. Like walk up means no elevator. I was in a fifth floor. I didn't have like,
Let me tell you, those stairs were steep. Like, it was hard.
but it gets better, guys. It gets better. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, I think it was really difficult because since I wasn't in a really good position mentally, and then like with all of these expectations from everyone
Mm,
expecting something from me, or like I don't know why. If you're doing this, why are you not sharing it in your social media? You should be showing
mm,
this because people want to see that. And like, I do whatever I want.
yeah.
At that point, I didn't feel good showing everything, so I would show it to my close friends. I created close friends on Instagram when I feel like better doing this. And I
Mm,
think that then I work in myself. I think that coming to New York, it doesn't mean like you have to move to a new city to have a fresh start. But I
mm,
think that was great for me. I was able to start from scratch. And I understand something. You're gonna have the best New York experience, but your New York experience.
yeah.
Like what it's the perfect New York life for you.
Mhm,
And you're gonna learn that by living here day by day and see what you like about the city, what you don't like about the city, what things you want to do, what things you don't want to do. Because like everyone is like, yeah, we're gonna have this sex in the city life. For my first months in New York, I was not drinking, so it
yeah.
was like I was not having those experiences that go. I went to bars because I'm pretty extrovert and I don't mind, but I think that I was more into looking like, oh, there's this Broadway lottery that you can go to Broadway shows for
Mhm,
$35. There's this free show that you can go in Central Park and do this. You can walk and do that and that. And maybe that's not the perfect New York for you
yeah.
or for everybody else, but that's the perfect New York for me. So something that I learned about this, like you cannot live with people expectations. It's like you have to find a way where it's your perfect
Yeah.
New York. Because I think we're so like easy. Oh, she have all of this money and she have all of these. Why is she not going like and travel and do
Yeah.
that? It's
Yeah.
like that's not what she wants. She enjoys her life in a different way. And I think
Yeah.
like getting to know and getting to understand that this is my life and I have to do what makes me happy. Because maybe if I will follow everyone's expectations, it will be like, yeah, I have to do this and that. But then it was like, I'm not enjoying it. I'm just only doing it to post a picture and to show people what New York life is. Because that's a TV show. Friends is a TV show. How I Met Your Mother is a TV
They're
show.
not real,
Sex in the
guys.
City is a TV show. So it's like you have a
Mm.
job, you have bills to pay,
Yeah.
you have other things to do. But I was able to create a routine that I really enjoyed, and I
Mm.
love the city now. But I don't have that as expectations, and I do fun stuff all the time.
You just said something that's just ring through, like it just went through to my head because it's like it's true. Sometimes we do post things to make it look like it's the perfect version of what you're living. Like I can even think of myself like posting stuff from New York, like the perfect view, this and that, but I don't pose when I'm like walking sweating like, oh my god, the subway's full, oh we missed our train. So we usually romanticize like experiences when the real experience that you get is not necessarily completely different, but it's like more real, more raw. And I think you just have a really good understanding when you moved here, because of what you were going through. I think you knew that is not what you wanted, is what you needed. You really had a good distinction that maybe this is the New York that I used to want, but this is the New York that I need right now. And you made it that. So
Totally.
like how did moving to New York help you, with, your self-discovery and tackling the issues that you brought from Dallas?
Well, first of all, I asked for help. I think that is really important that when you're going through some stuff, being able to look for someone that can actually help you out with your problems.
Mm.
So people out there, I'm a pro of therapy, but I'm a pro of like trying different people till you get the person that's actually going to help you out.
It's like dating.
Yeah, totally. We can talk that a little bit about that after. So I started doing yoga,
Mm.
core power,
I love Kurt Power.
yoga sculpt. I started doing walks in Central Park. So I actually did walk a
Great.
lot of mornings in Central Park. Fall walks in Central Park are
Mm.
life changing. I'm just gonna say that. Then the winter comes, and I remember one day I tried to do it in the winter, and I was so happy. And then I went to hot yoga, and I got a cold, and then I couldn't do it for a week. So
Oops.
yeah,
So take care of yourself,
so
guys.
take care of yourself, guys. So it was that, and I think that learning to be with myself, because
Mm.
it's cool. Yeah, the city is amazing, but you feel lonely.
Yeah.
I was able, I was so lucky that one friend from college was with me at the same time as me, and we can be roommates, and we were able to find this apartment, and I was able to share this experience with her. But we each have our own life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it was really good for me to learn to know what I like to do and what I love to do and things that I can enjoy to do by myself. Like
Mm.
I love going to the movies, so I will go to the movies by myself. Sometimes I will go with my roommate because she's great and
Right.
she it's good that she likes the same things that I do. But
Mm.
if she couldn't come, I will do by myself.
Mm.
And just like I think that I learned to not wait for anyone to do things that you love. If there's no one that can go with you, go by yourself. So yeah, I started like to learn to appreciate and love me more and do things
Mm.
that I really enjoy by myself.
And I think when you work on the inside, it's sort of like the outside just like fits, like goes right into place because you're working from inside out. And I think by you focusing on yourself really made you, feel more comfortable in the outside.
Totally, totally,
Mm.
totally. Like now, I was telling Ori that I was always using like these type of shirts because
Mm.
I didn't feel comfortable with myself, and I don't have the perfect body. But since I started like eating healthier and
Mm.
doing yoga and working on myself and doing things for me
Mhm.
and to be healthy, not because like I want to look good for anyone, it's just because I want to
Yeah.
be healthy. I want to take
Yes.
care of myself. I feel so much confident, and I can
Mm.
wear whatever I want, and I feel like better. Like
Mhm.
going out and getting ready. And I think that's really important. You have
Yeah.
to work inside to
Yeah.
be able to actually. And I think like everyone that comes to visit me is like, oh, you're glowing, like you look different.
You are glowing.
It's like you look different, like you're so
Yes.
much like calmer. And I think that I'm going back to the person that I was before, like a
Yeah.
chill person, really happy
Hmm.
person. Because like with my brother, I think with my friends I'm always really happy,
Yeah.
but with my family I was being a little like, I was like, so I had so many things inside of me that I
Hmm.
was not being my best self with them. And then my brother came and visited and he's like, oh my god, like we're having the relationship we used to have when we were like 15. Like we're just
Aw,
having fun and we're just like joking around.
that is so cool.
And yeah, I miss an older sister. I think sometimes it's difficult because you want to be like the mom to your siblings. But
Mm.
now I learned that that's not my responsibility, and I'm just like living my life, and I'm
I
just
love
being their
it.
sister. And I think that's. I think that when you work with yourself, I'm not perfect right now. I have my days. Like last week, I had a really low week. I felt
Yeah.
like lonely because I have so many people visiting me so much, and then when I was by myself, I was like, I'm lonely. Like I don't
Hmm.
love it. Like, well, maybe New York is great, but I don't know. Maybe I need to go back to another city that I have more
Hmm.
friends. But I just went out and did stuff that I enjoy. I went to see a movie with a view in the Dumbo with Dumbo in
Hmm.
Dumbo in Brooklyn, and I watched a movie and it was like, no, I love it here. I don't want to go anywhere. I enjoy being doing stuff by myself.
No, I think it's important that you also acknowledge that you have low weeks,
Of course.
and because that's everything, right? It's not gonna be pitch perfect because work is not a straight line. It's like a curvy line, and sometimes you're gonna be at your best, and sometimes you're gonna be at your worst. But it's how you handle your worst what matters, and knowing like when you go to those places, you're like, oh wait, hold on, let me take a second to appreciate everything that I have, to understand, okay, maybe I need to talk to someone. So you set an appointment with your therapist, or maybe I just need to take a walk, or
Yeah.
maybe I just need to go dancing. So understanding, what are your things that you do, um, it's just helpful with those weeks. But also, like, I know that we always talk about like boundaries because I used to be a person that had no boundaries at all. So I know that you have struggled with that in the past. So how do you work now that you feel in a better place with boundaries and limits
I think
with
that
everything?
okay, well, I started like because I realized that my problems that I was having with anxiety and stuff, it's not like an addiction problem or whatever. It was more like I didn't know how to put limits in my life. So since I didn't know how to put limits in any relationship in my life, that will be showing in my relationship with alcohol. Because if I don't put limits in my friendships, I was not able to put limits on when I was drinking,
Mm-hmm.
or I was not able to put limits talking to friends or with my parents or like a lot of things. So I learned to put my limits and like I can say no and it's okay
Mm-hmm.
because I being a people pleaser and an older sister that you have to be there for everyone. I think sometimes it's so difficult to say no or to like, you know what, like I'm gonna say yes, but to this point,
Mm-hmm.
like okay, yes, you can come to my house, but we're only gonna at 10 I have to fall asleep because tomorrow I'm gonna have a class at 9 a.m. and I want
Yeah.
to sleep, so you have to go. And
Mm.
sometimes understanding that people are not gonna be mad at you. Sometimes that's in your head because I think that we don't put limits in our life because we think that people's gonna like hate us because if you put limits and if they hate you, they're not the right person to be with you.
Yeah.
Because if they love you and they understand you, they will understand that you laid limits in your life.
I think putting limits has to be the best lesson that you learn in your 20s.
Yeah.
But let's talk about dating.
Bible
It was
dating.
coming.
Bible dating.
I did give her a warning. So obviously you are one of my single friends, so we have to talk about
Of
dating, and
course.
we have to talk about dating in New York City. Both things are things we need to talk about. But how has been as a single woman dating in New York City? I want all the tea.
Okay. For the first month, I was not looking for dating anyone.
Mm.
I was like, yeah, I have to work on myself. Like I don't think I'm in the place to be with someone else. I'm a mess. So, but
Hot mess.
yeah, hot mess. Always hot. But then like I remember, I'm gonna take like fun experiences that I have been having here.
We
In
get the exclusive, guys.
in October, I mean 3 months living here. I went to a party with my sister. She came and visited. She's younger than me, 5 years younger. So it's a different crowd, different type of people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, she wanted me to go out with her, so I went. And I was like, oh my god, this is so like young people around here. Like
Yeah.
this is not my spectrum at all. I was not drinking, so I was like, what can I do at this party? I was gonna try to enjoy it. My roommate came with me. And then this guy, I think he was 20
Okay.
or 21. He was a baby. And he saw me and he asked me, like, how long have you been living in New York? And I was like, 3 months. Oh, so you're a freshman. Because he thought I was in college.
No.
And I was like, oh, my little baby, I'm working. I'm 25 years old.
What did he say? He's
He
like,
kissed
I.
me. He kissed me.
I wasn't expecting
Plot
that.
twist.
I was expecting like, oh, cool, I like an older woman. No, he's just like, perfect. This is what I wanted.
Yeah, but that didn't work. I was like, yeah, I had fun.
That is so
And
funny.
then, but the plot twist is get even bigger.
Oh God.
It's then I went with my roommate because I was with my roommate. I didn't want to leave her. Like she was cool enough to come with me to this party that we weren't like.
Never leave friends behind.
Yeah, so I went with her, and it's not like I was in love with this guy.
Yeah, of course not.
Imagine like I don't know. And then he came to me. It was weird that he didn't tell me like, oh, come to my table with my friends or whatever. And then he came to me. He was one again. I was like, oh, with my friend. Like, let me just talk with my friends. And then this girl like took his arm, and then like they start fighting. So I guess he had a girlfriend. I don't know, bro.
Oh my God. Now I remember. He had a girlfriend. She was at the
something.
bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I just left. So I was the next morning. I was like, "There's probably this like couple having this like fight about me."
Yeah.
But well, dating in New York. So after
That is essentially dating in New York. That's all you need to know.
No. That's it. I
If you
remember.
go to a party, the girlfriend will beat you up. No, I'm kidding.
eh, okay, I'm gonna be totally honest. I remember when I moved here, I have these expectations because of Sex and the City. I'm a
Right.
huge Sex and the City fan.
Same.
And I think like everyone thought like, yeah, you're gonna come and guys are gonna be coming to you at the bar. Maybe that could happen. That has happened to me a lot. But someone that was living here told me I had to break this to you. If you're not on the apps, you're not anywhere. Like if you want to date, you have to.
So, what apps
Okay,
do you use?
Since,
Or the best apps for the city?
Since I'm not old. I'm still young. I'm in my 20s, guys. But I think that I'm not looking for like. I'm looking for to have fun.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know, different type of people. So I use Bumble, but not that much, and Hinge. Hinge is, I will say that it's the app that I actually use.
If you have to rate it from serious people and more like hookup mentality,
Hinge will be the first one that is actually more serious people. Hinge is
Hinge
more
is serious people.
Hinge is more
You're
serious.
actually wanting to get a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Or maybe like not boyfriend and girlfriend,
date.
but like dates, like actually go on dates. Bumble is like it used to be like that. It's a Tinder, but like girls are the one that message the guys instead of the guys messaging the girl. I tried this one that is called Thursday, but it only works in New York and London.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool that it only opens on Thursdays, and you have to have a date on that Thursday with that person.
How has been like dating with those apps? Is it like weird?
I'm gonna be honest. Like my first language is Spanish, so but I'm open to actually date people that speak English or whatever. But I think like I'm not like I don't love texting that much. I'm not like a talkative person. So for me, I have been on dates with 3 different guys on Hinge since I moved. The first one I loved because he was like we talked like for not that long, like a day. He was like, okay, let's set up a day. And let's go and see. And that's what I want. Like I don't want to be talking for weeks with someone and texting if we're not gonna see each other. So that was a very first good date, but it was on a Thursday and he left for the weekend to a trip or whatever. Then he texted me again, but we never get to see each other. But it was good because it was my first actual like date, and I was so scared to put myself out there and be like this catastrophic thing. But it was, it was good. And I was like, I have to put myself out there. Like
Yes.
I'm pretty, I'm hot. Let's say like that way. Like I can enjoy
That's
and
an
do these things.
understatement.
So that was like that experience. So I was like, yeah, like I'm young. I'm just like getting to know people. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then I had a second date. I think that it didn't work because I went with my I wasn't like in a good headspace that day. I was like so tired, but
Mm,
this guy, he have been texting me and
yeah.
whatever. On paper, I would love him because he loved like TV shows and Succession. I was obsessed with Succession at that time,
Ugh, yes.
and but like, you go to a date and then when the date finish, you both know that you're not gonna see each other again because neither of you have
You
like a
just
good
know.
time. So yeah, so that happened, and then the last person that I dated, I haven't been like, I know people that have been like, my roommate goes more on date. Like she was like, I don't want to date. And then when she saw that I was on the dating apps, because she's an active person. When she says that she's gonna do something, she does like perfectly.
Mm,
She's more like you.
I
Like a
that's what I was gonna say.
planner,
I'm
a
like, I will
planner.
write a plan. See, I could
Yeah.
not be single right now because like I'd be
Yeah.
so like OCD about it. I'm like, okay, so this is the roster. This what gets 2 out of 10. This what gets 5 out of 10.
The good thing about the city is that you can have fun
Yeah.
dates. I have this date. I don't want to talk about the guy because it didn't work out,
No.
but it was like we went on a ferry ride.
Ah.
And it was so cool. We went on a ferry ride, and then like we have a crib, and then like blah blah. So it was so much fun. Or you can just like grab a coffee and
There's
walk in
so much to
Central Park.
do. It's like perfect for dating, I feel, in the sense of that you have things to do because in Dallas you just go to dinner or go
Yeah,
to for drinks.
love Dallas, and I love going to dinner, and I love going for drinks or whatever. But I think that that was cool. That's an experience
Mm,
that even though like I didn't love him,
yeah.
and you don't have to date to love someone. You don't have to
Mm,
date to actually
for
have a boyfriend. You
yeah.
can just date to have fun.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
the
think you
vibe
should
that I'm
date for
working right
whatever
now.
you're ready for.
Yeah, and I think like sometimes it's good to know what you're looking for,
Yeah.
but sometimes if you don't know what you're looking for and you just want to go out and have fun, just do it.
Are you the type of person that just like sets the expectations right off the bat? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm like on your profile. Like, are you saying like I'm looking for having a fun date? Or are you like I'm looking for my soulmate kind of thing? Like, is that things that you put on your profile or
No,
you don't? You're like,
I'm more like chill. I put like pictures and they like prompts like there's a picture of me like this is like dating me will look like, or goth in the act or stuff like that. So no, because I don't know if I'm looking for my soulmate.
what are some red flags on dating apps that you're give me 3 red flags that you see on a guy and you're like, nope, swipe left.
Okay, of course, I think this is for all the girls. The picture with the fish, bleh.
With the fish.
Like the picture, no one wants to see your fish. Well, not that fish.
Not that fish.
In Hinge, you can like pictures or like put a message,
Mhm.
and I hate what they're like. Um, do you go to the movies? That's so weird because I thought snacks were not allowed inside or something like that. I'm like,
That
dude,
is so cheesy.
dude,
I mean, I guess,
why?
maybe they do this is because they think it works. Like,
I mean, it
I
could
feel
work
like
for some girls, but
I feel like if
not
you're a
work for me.
girl who has fall for that in the past, you're ruining it for the rest of us.
My
Like,
God,
you're making it think that those cheesy lines are okay, but maybe you do like cheesy lines. So
yeah,
I'm not. I don't like cheesy lines.
I don't like it either.
I like more like I don't know, like just a smart comment or whatever. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not the one single.
I'm gonna be honest. Like one of the guys that I dated, like I didn't love his pictures, the profile, but he
Mhm.
was straightforward. He was like, "Hey, you seem like a cool person. Do you want to have drinks this week?
Mhm.
Do you want to have drinks this week?" And I was like,
I
you
love
know,
that
he
opening.
went like straight to the point.
That is a
He
perfect
was like
opening,
that, and I
guys.
was like, like he's getting some
Mhm.
points here, so I'm gonna give you the opportunity. And it was a good date. So it was like, you never know.
Mm. I want to finish our
Okay.
episode with
Yes.
some tips that you have for anyone, either specifically moving to New York, or just like making a change in their life, making a transition on anything. So, what are your main tips
Okay,
for that?
first for the transition in your life, like
Mhm.
I think it's important to understand that it's gonna be like nothing is like a perfect ride. It's gonna be like a roller coaster. I know that a lot of people say that, but I think that you have to understand that you're gonna have great days, you're gonna have low days, and
Mm,
that's okay.
mm,
And you don't have to beat yourself up when you're not doing the right thing. Like right now, I don't love my job. Like I like it, it's okay, but
yeah.
it's giving me the opportunity to have all of these. So you have to always try to see the positive of what's happening in your life, and just like it is difficult. You're gonna lose maybe a lot of people.
Yeah.
You some days you're not gonna recognize yourself, but I think that all of that is gonna be worth it at the end because you're working through what you really want to do with your life and you're working through what you really feel comfortable with. So I think that's really important. For someone moving to New York,
Ooh,
it's gonna be expensive. So
number one.
number one, it's really expensive.
Expensive.
If you're looking for apartments, go to Street Easy. I think it's the best place. Don't be fool like me. Don't pay broker fee. Try to find apartments that they don't have a fee. And it's a canon event, I think, to live in a walk up. Like that happens for all of us. There's a lot of free things to do in the city. So just let the city get to you and just do fun stuff. And try to find someone that you can have like a support system because I think it's really
Mm,
important. Like that
yes.
friend that you can go and grab coffee with on a Saturday after you have like crazy week at work or just in life.
I love that.
And I think it's really important to have that. And for dating advice, I'm not the
Ooh.
best one to give any dating advice. I just like go with your gut. Don't settle for anyone because right now I'm in a more like a chill vibe. I'm looking for fun stuff. But if you know what you want
Yeah.
and you have like a standard of what you're looking for in a person, don't think that you have to settle just because you're single.
Mm,
It's like, no, yeah, no, I have to. I don't care that he doesn't do this, and that because I prefer that than to be by myself. It's better to be by yourself than with someone that it's not good for you. And if you're looking for a super serious relationship, look for someone that's looking for a super serious relationship as well.
yeah.
And like I said before, don't change your standards and don't get little because people are telling you that you're so old and you haven't have a boyfriend. I'm 26 years old and I never have a boyfriend in my life, and I don't feel bad about it. It's gonna come when it's gonna come, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's going to be the right person for you.
Yeah. So, but just enjoy and say yes and let yourself loose a little bit.
That was a really complete guide to being a single gal in New York. So thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
This is exciting because as we're talking about New York, we're about to head to the city and do
Yes.
stuff. So um, thank you so much. I
You're
think you
welcome.
really give some really good perspective for anyone who is kind of lost in what they want to do next and wants to take a chance but are afraid of what is going to happen. And I think knowing your story might help people, you know what, let's just take the leap. What's the worst that can happen, right? As I said, the worst thing that can happen is that you don't try. So thank you so much for
You're
coming.
welcome anytime. I hope you enjoy this.
New York, New York.
Yes, yes, yes.
We are gonna head out, but next week we're gonna have a great solo episode, and I hope you really like it. So, thank you for spending this episode in
Bye.
New York with us, and we're gonna enjoy the Jonas Brothers today.
Yes, I'm so excited for
I'm
that.
so
My
excited.
9 year old is like crying.
Mm,
Joey Girly here. I'm so excited to see Joe.
yes, I'm a Nick girly, but lately I've been the three of them girly. Okay, that was it. Thank you for coming to Make It Happen Dallas, Valeria. I'll see you next week. Bye.